ilmu akhir zaman. The first sign of the two was very easy to understand and to recognize. We didn't need a PhD from MIT. That the naked, barefooted shepherds would be competing with each other in the construction of tall buildings. My building is taller than yours. Oh, no, 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 no. We got the tallest one of all in Dubai. Oh, no. We in Jeddah, we're coming with one taller than you in Dubai. Huh? It's very simple that you would easily understand that the people who are impressed by tall buildings, and the tall buildings is a symbol of progress. And if Kampung, for our listeners in Britain and France, Kampung means a village. For if Kampung doesn't have any tall buildings, then Kampung is backward. So leave Kampung and head for where the tall buildings are. This is the sign of a person whose intellectual acumen is that of a naked, barefooted shepherd. What do you mean? I got my PhD from MIT and you telling me? Yes, that's what we're saying. That you now equate tall buildings with progress. You no longer consider what is in the heart to see, is he a man who speaks the truth? He never tells lies. That's important. Because our Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him, said about Akhir Zaman, there would be great liars. People will have PhD in telling lies in Akhir Zaman. So if this is a man who is truthful, who is trustworthy, who when he gives his word, he keeps his word. If he is like, you know, Al-Amin, they gave him that name in Mecca. They called him Al-Amin because he was truthful. He never told lies. He was trustworthy. You could trust him. When he gave his word, he kept his word. This is no longer important, no. You no longer judge people by their character. No, you judge them by their bank account and by what car they drive and which suburb they live in and how tall is the building. So this was a very easy sign of Akhir Zaman. But then came the second one. And this one was not the same. He said that you'd find that a slave woman would give birth to her mistress, You can't understand this literally. No. This is language which is symbolic. In the Quran, Allah has sent us revelation in which some of the ayat are muhkamat, plain and clear, and others are mutashabihat, that you have to interpret. Similarly with the hadith. This is mutashabiha. It has to be interpreted that a slave woman would give birth to her mistress. To understand this, you have to understand riba, which delivers slavery. It is riba which delivers slavery. And so my daughter and your daughter is now a slave. That's what she is. In that glorious kingdom called Singapore, which prides itself as the model kingdom of the world. Follow the model of Singapore. So then why Singapore? Why are you so shamelessly enslaving my daughter? As a maid, as a servant. She's the first to wake in the morning, Singapore. She's the last to sleep at night, Singapore. And my daughter works as a slave. She has no vocation, Singapore. And all that you studied in Harvard about the free and fair market, Singapore, you took it and threw it into the garbage bin. Shame on you, Singapore. You make an agreement with Indonesia to pay her $300 a month. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you, Singapore. Would any Singaporean woman work for $300 a month? Or $500 a month? None, none, none. But my daughter has to be a slave. That's riba. Because you know where the Indonesian rupiah is now. Yes. And you know where the Pakistani rupee is now. Have you ever asked yourself, is this normal and natural? That the money which Allah gave to us, the dinar and the dirham, the gold coin and the silver coin, you know, it's good sometimes to put aside the teh tarik and the roti canai and think. Sometimes it's good to think, you know, before you accept uncritically the paper money, which was not there yesterday. No, it came now. This is the age of the paper money. Because of this paper money and the banking system, riba, she's a slave. So to understand a slave woman giving birth to the mistress, you have to understand the subject of riba. And then, because she is now a slave woman, she's going to be used, her womb is going to be used, and she'll be paid, of course, surrogate mother, to produce a baby. For that woman who cannot have a baby. Because Allah created the male and the female the way He created the night and the day. Did you know that? Yeah. Allah created the male and the female the way He created the night and the day. He says that in the Quran. And then having said that, He said, Inna sa'ayakum lashatta. You are functionally different. But in Akhir Zaman, they say that's nonsense. The Quran is nonsense. Anything a man does, a woman can do. And so the night can try to become day. It's called the feminist revolution. But in the process of the night trying to become day, she's pursuing her own career now. Very good, mashallah, mashallah. She's pursuing her own career. Nobody ever said you don't have any brains. Of course you have brains. Our mothers have brains, sometimes more than our father. Nobody ever said that you don't have brains. But she's pursuing her career, and now she's going to work in the morning facing the morning traffic like everybody, and coming home in the evening facing the evening traffic like everybody. And then you have to buy, you know, the pre-cooked food, yeah. And the children, put them in a daycare center, put them with the next door neighbor and so on. But because she is pursuing a career in which the night is trying to become day, something happens. She loses her femininity, and she even loses her fertility. She cannot have children. So she has to go to a fertility clinic and pay lots of dollars to try to become pregnant. And when she cannot become pregnant, then of course the slave woman. This is a slave woman giving birth to her mistress. But the sperm, which is used to fertilize the egg, has grown so weak because of all the radiation from your cell phones, you saw, and all the internet and so on, and the pollution and so on. The male sperm has become so weak, you cannot produce a male child anymore. So there's only baby girls all around. And the world is filled with women. And so women will rule tomorrow. And so she gives birth to her mistress. Now then, not only